Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, your go-to place for all things macro photography. Today we're diving into the biggest question that I always get asked about the most. How can you start macro photography? Whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your skills with the latest gear and techniques in 2024, I've got you covered. Let's explore how you can start capturing the tiny wonders of the world in great detail. First up, let's talk about the most accessible option, your mobile phone. Smartphone cameras have become incredibly advanced, but to dip your toes into macro photography, consider investing in a clip-on lens. These little lenses are affordable and easy to use. Simply clip them over your phone's camera lens and voila, you're ready to capture stunning macro shots. Remember though, lighting and stability are key. If you're not very steady, consider using a mini tripod to stabilize yourself for the best results. A clip-on lens is a great option for most people because for most, we already have a mobile device to use it on and it's always in our pockets. So if you're out and about and you see an insect, all you gotta do is clip this lens on and start photographing it. Some mobile phones come with a macro feature already. If you have this option, you're good to go without purchasing a clip-on lens. However, a clip-on lens will improve your macro photography. This option also works great for video. Set your device's video frame rate to a high-speed frame rate, slow it down in post-production software, and you'll get some nice stabilized footage of insects out in the wild. You can also get clip-on lenses for your DSLR or mirrorless cameras. So if you own a camera like this, which is the Canon 650D, a relatively old camera by today's standards, you can start doing macro on a very low budget by purchasing a clip-on lens for your camera. These lenses attach to the front of your existing camera lens, providing an instant macro capability. While not as effective as dedicated macro lenses, they're a great starting point for beginners. Plus, they're budget friendly and portable. Clip-on lenses work better at a higher focal length. However, don't let that deter you. I've taken successful macro images using a 50mm lens and a clip-on lens. By using a clip-on lens, you still maintain full control of your camera's settings, like the shutter speed, f-stop and ISO. They don't even interfere with your autofocus. If you already own a camera, a clip-on lens is probably the best way to start macro photography. It's budget friendly and very easy to use. For those wanting to delve deeper, extension tubes are your next step. These tubes fit between your camera body and lens, increasing the distance between the lens and the sensor, which allows for closer focusing distances. This is the exact same setup that I used to start my macro photography journey. A DSLR camera, a 50mm prime lens and extension tubes. Extension tubes are relatively inexpensive and maintain the optical quality of your lens. However, they might reduce the amount of light reaching the sensor, so additional lighting might be necessary, such as a camera flash. One downside of using extension tubes is to adjust the magnification, you have to take them on and off. This can expose your camera sensor to dirt and dust. Make sure you know how to clean your camera sensor before starting to use extension tubes. As with macro photography, it can get very, very dirty. And if you're focus stacking, those little dust bunnies that go on your sensor will build up on your stacks. If you go down this route of using extension tubes, make sure you get metal extension tubes. These tubes also have contacts that maintain the connection between your lens and your camera, meaning you have full control over your camera's lens. You're able to adjust your f-stop to your liking. This means you'll be more secure if you're using an expensive lens with them. There are budget options that you can buy off eBay, but these are made out of cheap plastic and are just not worth it. So if you are going to use extension tubes, do it right, buy metal ones. A more advanced yet budget-friendly technique is reverse mounting lenses. This involves attaching your lens to the camera body backwards using a special adapter ring. This method works best when using wide-angle lenses like this Tokina 28mm lens. Do you remember when you was a child and you used to look down the wrong end of binoculars and everything seemed far away? This is basically the same effect but in reverse. We're taking a wide angle lens, we are reversing it and placing it onto our camera, which means the entire scene we're looking at is magnified. One downside of using reverse lenses is depending on the lens that you use, you can have a very short working distance. This can make it very tricky to get photos of insects without spooking them. You also lose the ability to control your lens's f-stop. If you look around on the internet, you can also find reverse mounting adapters that maintain the connection between the lens and the camera. You can give these adapters a go if you're not completely comfortable going full manual on your camera. This method can produce extremely high magnification. It's a bit unconventional and might require some practice, but the results can be astonishing. For those of you serious about macro photography, investing in a dedicated macro lens is the way to go, like this lower 100mm macro lens. This is a 2x macro lens. Macro lenses are specifically designed for close-up photography, offering superior sharpness and magnification. While they are more expensive, the quality of your macro shots will be unmatched. Plus, many macro lenses can also serve as an excellent portrait lens, making them versatile additions to your gear. Higher-end macro lenses also provide reverse sealing and autofocus. Having a macro lens with autofocus can also provide you with access to in-camera focus bracketing. Check your camera's manual for more details to see whether your camera and lens is compatible with focus bracketing and stacking. Lastly, if you're all in and ready to fully commit, consider purchasing a complete camera setup designed for macro photography. If you're new to macro photography and are considering a dedicated setup, take a look at the second-hand market first. My current setup is the Olympus EM1 Mark II with the 60mm macro lens. For lighting, I'm using the Godox V350O with a Cygnus Tech diffuser, and all of this cost me around £1,000 in 2023. It's currently February 2024, and if budget is no concern of yours, this would be my recommendation to you. The OM Systems OM1 Mark II with the OM Systems 90mm macro lens. For lighting, I would use the Godox V860 Mark III and use the Cygnus Tech diffuser. That would be my go-to kit for 2024. This option might be the most expensive, but it guarantees you have the right tools specifically designed for capturing stunning macro images right from the start. You can also mix and match these options. You can put macro clip-on lenses onto macro lenses to increase the magnification. So even when you upgrade from clip-on lenses or extension tubes to a macro lens, you keep your old accessories because you can always use them to increase your magnification. So there you have it, folks. From using the phone in your pocket to investing in a complete camera setup. There are so many ways to start exploring the fascinating world of macro photography in 2024. Remember, the best gear is the gear that works for you and your budget. Don't be afraid to start small and work your way up as you discover the joys of macro photography. Happy shooting, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more macro photography tips and tricks, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.